the name above every other name. Jesus, the only one who could ever save. Worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you.
Oh, we live for you.
Holy, there is no one like you. There is none beside you. Open all my eyes in wonder. Show me who you are and fill me with your heart and lead me in your love to those around me. Only there is no one like you. There is none beside you.
The Son of God was glorified in it? Would that be awesome if you knew what it was? Well, here it is. Now, Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. So when he heard that he was sick, what would he do? What would you do if you heard that your best friend was sick and you had the power to heal him? What would you do? I would think you would go and heal them, right? And so he hears that they're sick. It's it's his friends. And so it says, so when he heard that he was sick, he stayed 2 more days in the place he was. What? He heard that his friend was sick, right? And he stayed 2 more days in the place that he was. Sometimes, I don't know about you, but sometimes for me it's hard to figure out God. Sometimes I have it all planned. This is what God needs to do. This is what Jesus needs to do. And he doesn't do what I have planned out for him to do. And that's when it causes problems for me. Because a lot of times I really think that I know, I've been praying about this God, this is what you should do, and this is when you should do it. But he wasn't doing that. He stayed there 2 more days in that place. Then after this, he said to the disciples, let us go to Judea again. After 2 days, he said, okay, now let's go to Judea. Bethany's in Judea. We're going to go there. The disciples said to him, Rabbi, lately the Jews sought to stone you, and you're going there again? Now the disciples have a kind of a different plan. They don't think it's such a good idea for him to go there right now because the Jews, the religious leaders, are out to put him to death. They're out to stone him. And you probably wouldn't want to be right by him when he was getting stoned, right? Okay, and so they're thinking, Jesus, as long as we waited 2 days, maybe a little longer would be good. The thing is this, they might not have realized that just a week or a few weeks down the road, Jesus actually was going to be crucified. And it wouldn't work out too well to be stoned, put to death, before you're crucified. And so God had some kind of bigger plan going on that the disciples didn't understand, that Mary and Martha and Lazarus did. And Jesus answered this, are there not 12 hours in the day? If anyone walks in the day, he does not stumble because he sees the light of this world. But the one who walks in the night, he stumbles because the light is not in him. These things he said. So he said, wait a minute. We've got to go now because there's 12 hours in the day. And Jesus talked in metaphors, right? While you're in this life, and now is the time to do it. They were thinking in terms, we've got 12 hours to get from here to there. But then he finishes it off this way. He said, and after that he said to them, our friend Lazarus sleeps, but I will go and wake him up. Do you think that he meant that Lazarus was asleep and now he needed to go wake him up? No, because you got to read ahead in this. But the disciples are saying, Lazarus sleeps, and so we're going to go and wake him up. The disciples said, Lord, if he sleeps, he'll get well. Jesus was talking about not sleep, but death, right? And in this passage that Mark read this morning, Paul goes on to refer to the believers being asleep and not dead, and we're going to find out why before we're done today. Jesus spoke of his death, but they thought he was speaking about taking a rest and sleep. Then Jesus said to them plainly, Lazarus is dead. Now this next part is very confusing. He said, Lazarus is dead. My friend is dead. This must have been confusing.